Speaking of stuttering offenses, let's talk about the second game that we had to talk about today. We're going to have a funeral for the Houston Texans season.
Who died?
The offense.
Damn.
The team.
Yeah.
0-3. And they've been talking about nonstop on every broadcast. The last time we saw a team go 0-3 and make the playoffs was the Houston Texans, and I think it was 2018. Before that, it was like the early 2000s. It is not very often you see a team make a comeback from this type of terrible start, especially when the Daniel Jones Colts are across from the conference going insane at 3-0. They are 3 games back from winning the conference. Now I think at best they're hoping for a wild card run, which, it's only 3 games, so they can still do that. But I feel like the collective conversation has been, okay, so their offense is cooked. What's going on? Do y'all see it that way?
I mean, I know because I don't have the question of what's going on. I know what's going on.
Yeah. Everything's bad. That's what's going on.
Yeah. And so the offensive line obviously is one of the worst in the league. And it's gotten to a point where last year there were a couple of moments where you look at this team and you say, like, man, I hope they can put it together, because you're starting to see a couple bad habits from CJ Stroud. Right? Like, you can't blame absolutely everything on the offensive line, and there's some mistakes that he's making that we really need to tidy that up going into next year. And now we're here next year, and over the first 3 games, you've seen bad habits, you've seen bad play from CJ Stroud, you've seen inaccurate throws, you've seen bad decisions, and it's a compounding effect when your offensive line is bad and your quarterback, who is supposed to be the elevator, is not elevating at all.
That's the part. Most of this team isn't that surprising. When we talked about this team preseason, we considered them, I think we did our top 10 contenders ranking, we put them like 9 or 8, something like that.
Yeah,
we gave them back half of the top 10 teams because the defense is so monstrous and because we trust CJ Stroud blindly. Like, this is a clearly top-end quarterback that can carry things, and if we believe that Nick Caley will come in and be a better offensive coordinator than what they got from last year, we can imagine that those things are good enough to keep them at the top of their division, which will keep them in the playoffs and keep them within striking distance of letting their defense win them some playoff games, right? All of that makes sense of why you choose to believe a team without seeing them play. But we talked a lot about the weaknesses of this team. We did a segment where we were talking about, can certain NFL teams win a Super Bowl this year? Which is a very abstract question. Anybody can. But what we meant by is, like, do we think they have like a realistic chance of competing? And I said no for this team because I just don't think you can win a Super Bowl with a bottom 10 offensive line.
Yeah.
Bottom 10 was generous. This offensive line is dog shit. And all the abilities that we believed in of CJ Stroud to carry, none of those are there right now. Like, he's looking more and more like a mortal quarterback that needs a good situation to succeed, which isn't an insult. That's most quarterbacks. But I think after his rookie year, he was viewed as a quarterback that was going to elevate towards those like top 5 conversations of guys that can make the most out of situations and carry water for the rest of the team. That doesn't feel like who I'm watching right now.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's so interesting seeing how quickly the page has turned and knowing the full context of how bad their offensive line is this year compared to last year, knowing it was bad and seeing what they did this offseason, which is like pretty much nothing, while bringing in a new rookie offensive coordinator, not addressing any of the issues as well. This feels such like a handicapped situation. It's such a unique situation too, because okay, I'm hearing about this dude named Nico Collins. Apparently he's a goon. I watched the tape. Holy fuck, you guys are right. He is indeed a goon. I hear about the Houston Texans defense. I hear about Will Anderson Jr. Goon. I understand it all, bro. But
goons left and right.
I see the offensive line. I go ahead and see also like how desolate, how truly ass it is, and how they again didn't add no talent. Such a weird team construction. And something I wanted to point out today too is that I realized compared to the NBA, in the NBA it's so hard these days to sniff out the dummies in the league. It's so hard to sniff out the dumbass offensive or dumbass front offices. But in the NFL, it's like easier than ever. And this is like clearly the first dummies that I've been able to spot out.
That is what it feels like. So that's probably
question. Oh, not even a question. This is the first NFL team to ever go like 0-3 while also giving up a total like of 55 points through the first 3 games.
Yeah. And they haven't
Defense
scored 40.
Is stellar. Yes.
And they haven't scored 40.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like. It feels like a front office that has just squandered the rookie contract window of CJ Stroud. And you mentioned they didn't bring any talent in the offensive line. I agree. I was saying that all preseason, and in the comments, Texas fans would tell us 4 out of 5 starters are different now. What do you mean they haven't addressed the line? That's the verbiage I kept using in our preseason videos. I kept saying they did not address the line in a meaningful way. How can it not be addressed? There's 4 new bodies there. We start 4 new guys. It's a new line, right? They got new players, not good players. They got players that were cast off from other terrible offensive lines. They went and found the rejects from the Vikings, the rejects from so-and-so, all these other teams that replaced these guys because their line was an issue. They brought them here and said, we can fix them. You can't. These guys are not good. There is no talent up there. Going back to this throw chart, outside of this botched coverage in which Nico Collins ran for the touchdown on what was simply a botched coverage, there's a miscommunication between the DBs and they got this touchdown. There was nothing effective deep because they know Nico Collins is a deep threat receiver, true X receiver that will line up on the outside and we'll try to beat vertically. We are going to run 2 high safety shells, take that away from you. And when we do that, we're giving you light boxes to run the ball against. Your offensive line sucks. You're not going to get good run block push. Your running back room sucks. Shout out Nick Chubb. Old, has a lot of injuries. He's not the Nick Chubb of old, sadly.
Negative juice.
Shout out Woody Marks. He's a rookie, not a powerful back that's going to make up for bad blocking. He's more of a receiving scat back type. They don't have the bodies to block, the back to take advantage, to force teams out of these 2 high shells. So Nico Collins is rendered not useless, but pretty neutered by the situation around him. And it helps now that Christian Kirk is back. Before that, they did not have the bodies in the receiver room with the rookies Higgins and Noel to make up for that by peppering you early. And CJ Stroud has not run the quick game particularly effectively. He's been skittish under pressure, running around. He's had some bad accuracy issues. There's one pick he threw in this game that was against a basic cover 3 defense. He tried to run a corner route, and the curl flat defender, Jordan Lewis, who's had a great season for the Jags, just read it, dropped back, picked it super easily. That to me looked like a pick thrown by a quarterback that is completely hampered by the pressure right now.
And it's just, it's so unfortunate because we are like, this defense is so good. Also, the defense, like because we talked about it last week where they weren't able to seal that game because they missed some tackles. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same thing, yesterday. Like they missed some tackles as well. And like obviously you have to make tackles, but the pressure that this defense is under right now is they have to play. Come on, man. the pressure that this defense is that they have to play perfect. Like they cannot make any mistakes. And at this point, and we talked about it before, I said I need the Texans defense. Like my question for them for this week is, can the defense score? Because they're going to have to. And I said Trevor Lawrence is going to give them one. He gave them an interception. You have to, like, they are literally at the point where you have to figure out ways to score on special teams, to score on defense. Because if you're going to get 10 to 13 points every single week, that's obviously just not going to be good enough. And Lawrence on the other side didn't even play like amazing either. So
because he's against the Houston Texans defense.
Yeah,
that helps.
But and that's the bar that you're going into, where every single game that you play, you know that if this quarterback is normally an A+, your defense is going to make him A-, B+, right? They will drop a letter grade playing your team. And so you have a much bigger margin of error that many other teams in the league don't have. And they just don't have any of the horses, any of the bodies to overcome it. And so at this point, you're 0-3. You in the AFC, when you know that the top 3 teams or the top 2 right now in terms of like Buffalo and Baltimore, we expect the Chiefs to be in the playoffs. The Chargers are 3-0. You have another three.
Colts are 3-0.
Oh yeah, Colts are 3-0 in your own division. So you know that you're gonna have to be a wild card team. You're 0-3. Does 10-7 make it? And if 10-7 does make it, you have to go 10-4 for the rest of the way. If 11 wins makes it 11-3, that's just not going to happen.
And anything can happen. The season might not be over. It feels like this version of this team this year, it just doesn't have it. The flaws are entirely predictable. The solutions that we decided to believe in have not worked. So the flaws are just what they are. And, obviously everyone is taking the opportunity to dunk on CJ Stroud for his 1-year wonder rookie season. Now he's been exposed as a fraud. The NFL humbled him, all this stuff. I'm not going there that he's like bad or average, anything of the sort that people are going out there with. That's always the answer to discourse of people is QB sucks. He's just, I am going to the fact that I do think he has a ways to go before he can be the elevator we thought he was.
Yeah.
That he's not immune to bad situation, and the situation is beyond bad. So he's not in the situation to live to his strengths. He's probably being affected in terms of like his internal clock and his ability to handle pressure. The same way you always talk about, like, I hope this bad team doesn't ruin this quarterback. I think what you mean by that normally is they just develop bad habits because they know they're constantly under duress and they feel like they have to play with that in the back of their heads. I think some of that is here. And I do still believe if you get him in a good situation, CJ will be a great quarterback. Like he still can be a top 10 quarterback. Yeah. He's not that right now in this situation.
Yeah.
And if he's not going to be playing and producing at that level, team doesn't have much of a chance.
No, it's as over as it could be for
3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, for the Texans. For Jacksonville, shout out to them, right? You get to 2-1, you get a bounce back win, you get a win in your division to allow you to, keep pace with the Colts, who at this point is like, yo, are you guys good? Like
No, they are good.
No, not good in that sense, but like it's crazy what they're doing.
Yeah, it's insane.
So
I believe in it too, for the most part. Like, it doesn't feel unsustainable.
Wow.
There'll be some regression. We're gonna get to them on Thursday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them today because we're having a video that's like specifically pertaining to them.
Mhm.
So we won't talk about them in their game they just played, but we'll do it later this week. But I super believe in the Colts as far as the regular season team goes.
Mhm.
So I don't see the hole they're in getting that much smaller as time goes on. Like, they're gonna have to pace with the Colts, who have shown no signs of slowing down.